Hi, I'm Nathaniel, and today I am very excited to talk to you about a book that I don't physically have with me. And the reason I don't have it is because I was sent an advanced reader copy of it. I'll have a picture of the cover here, and that is Larry Correia's American Paladin Dust Sacrifice, published by Ark Press. In case you don't know who Larry Correia is, he's a pretty big author. You might have heard of his Monster Hunter International series. I have not read it, but it's about a group of people who go and hunt monsters for subcontracting with the government, I think. It sounds really cool, and I do want to read it eventually. But that is the biggest thing Larry Correia is known about. He's also a New York Times bestselling author for that series. He also made an epic fantasy series. I don't remember the name, but I told my dad about it and he was reading it and he really liked it. Before I did a little bit of research for this video, I was going to say those were the only two series Larry Correia wrote. That is completely wrong. He is really prolific. It is very incredible. And so this is the first taste of this prolific and very accomplished author, who I haven't read and I probably should, except for this arc. And this is the first taste of his new series, American Paladin. The basic premise of this new series is it's an urban fantasy, like Monster Hunter International. It's set in the West, where these dorm fronts of magic or something that roll through the West and open portals to magical places. It really wasn't clear in the graphic novel, and I've watched a lot of the promotional materials and don't want to give too much away, so I can't really say much more except monsters come out of these and mess people up. And the American Paladin series follows Mike Spears, a lone vigilante who's trying to protect people from these monsters, and I presume also trying to figure out what is going on because he doesn't know what's going on. I'm assuming that. I really do like the premise. I'm not big on like fantasy in the real world. I usually just don't like it, but this sounds kind of cool. And the graphic novel, Dust Sacrifice, is like a nice little taste of what's to come in the series, and it was a very good taste. Now, some people have been a little confused why Larry Correia is making another urban fantasy, but they wonder why it's not set in the Monster Hunter universe, and that's really simple. Is he just had a different idea for a lone fighter against these different kinds of monsters. I haven't read Monster Hunter International, but that's about a group. It's like the international organizations of monster hunters. And even if it's a small group, that's a different tonal thing than the lone vigilante, which is very obvious of what Mr. Correia is going for, even in Dust Sacrifice. So it's kind of like if you would say, if I wrote a book series about superheroes and it was about the Hero League of America and there's a bunch of superheroes who are working together and everybody loves them and they're saving the universe from aliens and whatever. And then if I wanted to write a superhero series about how the government doesn't like superheroes and how they're taking all the superheroes and experimenting on them, and the superheroes, when they figure out they're superheroes, have to run for their lives and go hide. That's tonally and in world building an entirely different concept, and it would take a lot of work to put it in the same world. So just make another one, especially if you have ideas. No one's stopping you from making a billion variations on the same idea if that's the kind of thing you're interested in. Sometimes people just really like an idea and they keep just developing it, and kind of like a premise, and they just want to make different stories and different things out of the premise. And I think Mr. Correia really likes the premise of guys with guns versus monsters, which is fair. That's really cool. So, Dust Sacrifice. As I said before, it's kind of like a little taste the upcoming novel is going to be from. It's like a day in the life of the vigilante Mike Spears. He's trying to find this girl who's been kidnapped, and later it's revealed that the bad guy is trying to sacrifice her to this Aztec god monster thing, and it follows Mike Spears as he roughs up some bad guys and shoots stuff and finally leads up to the showdown with the Aztec monster, I think it is. It's a very gritty story and kind of violent, but it's really good in it, and tonally it makes sense. I would put it as like one of those R-rated movies that you're like, okay, that movie's rated R, but it's not senseless violence. It makes sense in the context. And I would say the graphic novel specifically shows that a little bit more than possibly the book because it's a graphic novel and there's picture. The art is by Alex Wist and it's really good in the layout and how it was written. I must confess I never got into comic books. I read like Calvin and Hobbes and Garfield and I've read a couple superhero things. I have this collection back at my house of like the Warrior Years of Batman and I thought that was pretty cool. But most other comic books or graphic novels, when I picked up and tried to read it, because I'm so used to just reading and I like reading, I just tried to read the words and didn't really spend time at the pictures, that I got a little ahead of myself and it was confusing and I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't the case with this one. It was written really well. I don't know if a standard graphic novel format. It felt more like a book to me with a lot more extra pictures than a comic book. I know that might not make sense, but I ended up liking it a lot. It is honestly, in all, it is really cool, and I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to get an advanced copy to read it and tell you all about it. And even if you don't like graphic novels, I highly recommend you pick it up, or even the novel that's coming out. They're both out on Kickstarter. If you go to Kickstarter and search American Paladin, I'll also have a link in the description and probably also in a comment, which I'll pin. And the Kickstarter opened, I think it was last Tuesday, and within 12 hours it had beaten its goal and gotten up to $100,000. And as the time of recording this, it's after what, I think 5 days, it's nearing pretty close to $200,000. And so it's fully funded, so it's basically now just like a pre-order. You can order the graphic novel and the novel. I backed for the novel. It's really nice, like the hardcover or the hardcover special edition. I don't have any of them physically. I don't think they've printed any of them, but like reading the descriptions, they sound like really good quality books. Now, real quick, I want to talk to you about the new publishing house, Ark Press. Ark Press is a new imprint focusing on genre fiction like science fiction and fantasy, though they're also are looking for other things like literary fiction, mystery noir, and military thriller. If you go to ark.press and go to About, you can see the 3 amazing editors and what they like. I think that's a pretty standard thing for agents and editors. And this publishing house, their motto is the humans win at the end. They're trying to find good stories where humans win, like positive stories that when you finish, they just made your day even a little better. You're not sad. I have my water here because I've had to drink a lot because I've spent over an hour recording this video. And here's to Ark Press. Yes, this is water. Look. Water. But still, toast to Ark Press. Hopefully, this is the first amazing Kickstarter of many more. And I hope very much that just as much as you can recognize horror, as that is a good place to find fantasy books, or Del Rey, or all the other imprints, I hope Ark soon becomes one of those other ones that just all of us in BookTube and writing and everything talk about. Thank you for watching. Please check out the Kickstarter. I backed it. I got not special edition, but the hardcover of the book. And I'm really excited for it. Please back it because I think a lot of people are going to really like it. Plus, the next stretch goal is a challenge coin, and I kind of want it. And so more people need to buy it so I can get that challenge coin. Bye.